Do you know what Yu-Gi-Oh is? It's a franchise that primarily revolves around a trading card game. It has an anime, a manga, toys, statues, everything. Everything a major franchise has. But primarily this one focuses on a trading card game both in the actual series and in real life. So Yu-Gi-Oh came out when I was in elementary school. I remember in my area the first places that you could get Yu-Gi-Oh merchandise, which was the playing cards, was at a gas station near my grandmother's house and ice cream trucks at the local parks, so like the city parks. So ice cream trucks would drive around playing music and kids can run up, stop the truck, and get ice cream. Well, when Yu-Gi-Oh came out at the time, they had the starter decks, so like pre-made decks of cards that you could just open and play right away against another person who also had a deck. So if you were lucky, you could find an ice cream truck that had them, and you could be, early enough in line to get it. Because if the line was super long, they'd sell out before you could get one. Now, the gas station that sold the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they didn't have the starter decks. They had the booster packs. So like a small little wrapped pack of cards. It's just a handful of cards, and honestly they're so random that most of the time trying to like play the actual game with them, it's not really gonna work out. By the time I was in middle school, aka junior high school in the US, Yu-Gi-Oh was already into its second series. So not its second season or even second arc, they had already gone way past that, but a totally second series. So this series was about a new protagonist, like a new main character. This was Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So Yu-Gi-Oh! GX came out and was on and popular when I was in 7th and 8th grade. In middle school, I spent a lot of time in the library. I loved books, I loved reading. I bring this up because there was consistently a group of students in the back of the library who would play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like play the actual card game. Like according to the real rules, not the anime rules or made up rules between your friends, but actually playing the game together. I never joined them. In retrospect, I think I would have enjoyed joining them and playing and learning to play the game with them. Unfortunately, Yu-Gi-Oh faded from my life before middle school really began. My dad, Ben, passed away from a sudden brain aneurysm the summer before I started 7th grade. So my attention and priorities rapidly changed. And as much as I loved Yu-Gi-Oh! And, everything else, Pokemon, etc., it kind of started to take a back seat to more important things at the time. I don't remember seeing anyone play Yu-Gi-Oh! In high school. Thinking about it, I feel confident that there had to have been a group somewhere playing, and I just never interacted with them or crossed their paths and saw them. Or maybe it's possible no one in my entire high school played Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not sure. However, that was quickly counterbalanced when I got to college. At my college, there was a big Yu-Gi-Oh! Scene. They met regularly, probably daily in the cafeteria, but the cafeteria was also, it was inside of this building. The cafeteria was inside of a building that a lot of other things were also inside of. So it was a very big facility. So the Yu-Gi-Oh! Players took up this section upstairs, like the upstairs corner directly above the cafeteria, the food section. So if you were getting food there or sitting there to relax and have your snack, it was very easy and very common to see the large group of Yu-Gi-Oh! Players playing cards above you. Once again, I never joined them. It was in college that I gifted all of my old Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff to some younger siblings and to my wife's oldest brother. I hadn't used it, wasn't gonna use it, saw that the scene was big, saw that he was interested in it, and figured, they would make better use of it than I would. And that's where I left Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't think about it, I didn't buy anything, watch anything, read anything, consume anything Yu-Gi-Oh! For years, decades, until a few weeks ago. My son is on summer break from elementary school. We started to notice some free videos on YouTube, including some of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Movies and many of the duels from the show edited together into singular videos. Typically in the anime, duels between characters would be stretched out across several episodes, each episode being about 20 to 30 minutes long. Well, thankfully on YouTube now, those episodes have been edited together so that you can just watch the entire singular duel. Being able to casually watch entire duels between characters in the show was a fresh perspective for me, especially for Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not something I had done, it's not something I had considered doing, and once I had done it, it inspired me to want to take another look at Yu-Gi-Oh! Thankfully, there's a free app called Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. It's available on pretty much everything. I have it on my phone and on my Nintendo Switch. It can teach you the basics of playing the game, but it turns out the game is pretty complicated and pretty fast-paced. So even with the training wheels and the bumper guards of the app, I'm still struggling to play cognizantly. In an effort to learn to actually play the game, I've been using the pre-made decks available in the app, and I learned how to make proxy cards so that I can have a real-life version of the main deck that I use. Proxy cards are basically substitute or imitation cards used to represent real cards so that you can practice playing with a new strategy before you actually commit to buying certain cards, because some of them may be expensive. I even went so far as to make a proxy replica card of a card from the anime, or at least an anime version of a card, because there are real versions of this card that exist, but this version that I made here is based on the anime. So I made an entire proxy replica of the structure deck from the Master Duel app called Heroes Union. And it's a very simple and straightforward deck, which is why I lose pretty consistently. Unfortunately, I was slow to notice the fine print in the bottom corner of the proxy cards that says these cards cannot be used in official tournaments or pretty much in anything beyond personal use for yourself or with your friends to just practice playing them. Or if you just wanted to display them or have them in a collection or whatever. But yeah, you can't use these to actually play the game. So this led me to pursuing Yu-Gi-Oh! Products in the wild. And I ended up at Baseball and Games / Field of Play in Hesperia, California, because they're the only shop in my local area that sells Yu-Gi-Oh! Sized anything, including the cards. So I bought what I could and resolved myself to making a playing mat diorama, so something that could double as a display diorama piece but could also be a functioning playmat for the game. This of course led me to wanting to create just a diorama piece for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Display. So this is inspired loosely by the Battle City arc of the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. It's scaled to fit the SHF Yugi figure, which I picked up with a coupon at GameStop. Both of these projects are still works in progress. Since I left Yu-Gi-Oh! During GX, and I'm jumping back in with these hero cards, it felt appropriate to pick Yu-Gi-Oh! Back up with GX. I haven't been consistently watching the anime of it or anything, but I picked up the first volume of the manga, and I have been watching some of the duels on YouTube. Thank you for watching, and get your game on.